Please call the next public speaker.
Ernest Morse.
My name is Ernest
Please
Morse.
identify yourself and proceed.
My name is Ernest Morse. I live here in Bakersfield. I first came to Bakersfield in 1981, and I'd like to make a few comments that are not directed mainly at the mayor or the city council, but directed to public things that they need to take into consideration when they debate this issue among themselves on how we want to deal with these issues. The first two, I'm going to quote a couple of pieces of scripture that are important, very important in this issue. One is 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 19. It is necessary to have differences so that we can understand which one is more acceptable to God. And another one that's very important is we need to understand Ecclesiastes 10, verse 2. The wise heart is inclined to the right, the left heart to the left. If we consider where our heart is on our body, it's on the left side. So if it's inclined to the right, it's toward the center, it's toward those issues that help create good for all, not just one group. So we want to go to the right. And the third one is I want to quote the preamble to the Constitution of the United States. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare and the security and blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish the Constitution of the United States. And we need to put this whole debate in context of what will give us justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. If we do those things, it will make this thing much easier to work with and get through and help everybody become better citizens of this country. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Madam Clerk, please call the next public speaker.
Edward Herrera. Mr. Herrera, if you'll give me one moment. The following Mr. Herrera will be Jan Gary, Karen Stocker, Mary Shaden, Jess Boyer, and Magda Mendez.
Good evening. Please identify yourself and proceed.
Good evening, Mayor Hall and honorable members of the City Council. My name is Ed Herrera. I am the great-great-grandson of Sixta Peña, who came to California in the 1850s. I have worked with some of you in the community and know that all of you are committed to this fine city. I myself have worked as a member of the community with law enforcement for years. County Supervisor Mary Kay Shell had appointed and authorized the Hispanic Advisory Council to Kern County Law Enforcement, and later Supervisor Pete Parra and Supervisor Barbara Patrick continued the Hispanic Advisory Council. And currently I'm a member of the Bakersfield Police Department Hispanic Liaison Committee. With that said, I believe I can speak about community relations and law enforcement. One of the Bakersfield City resolution points is to make Bakersfield a non-sanctuary city, which would order the police to begin enforcing immigration law other than ICE, which stands for the Immigration Customs Enforcement Law. This would be a big mistake. The tenets of community-based policing is that of trust. And when you disenfranchise a large segment of the community, you make for less effective law enforcement. When you burden law enforcement with other duties other than what they already have to do, you make for less effective law enforcement. There are serious criminal issues facing the citizens of this community today. All of us have to work together for the safety and well-being of the community. Please reconsider the city resolution. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you very much. Madam Clerk, please call the next public speaker.
Jan Gary.
Good evening. Please identify yourself and proceed.
Good evening to Mayor Hall and all the council people and everybody else here. I have been doing a lot about thinking about this too.
Excuse me. Give us your name, please.
Jan Gary.
Thank you.
From Bakersfield for the last 50 years. What I've been thinking about today is what happened in Mexico I mean, as far as I can find, looking up good things about that country, there are minerals, oil, the beaches to develop, a lot of things to do. Then I ask people, well, you know, why did everybody seem to decide to move here instead of developing their own country? And then I hear answers like, well, there's a corrupt government down there. And so then I began to look at the big picture, and I can never forget the young man who stood in front of the tank in China in the Tiananmen Square incident, and it changed things in that country. Then I think of Martin Luther King and what he did and how that changed things in this country. And then I think, well, what happened with the people in Mexico? Why didn't they do something in their own country to cause things to be better? Why did they just desert the ship, so to speak? So I'm wondering about that. I'd like some answers from them on that. And then the other thing, I went to the internet today and made a list of things that came out of the Californian from various people. One was called the Martinez column, and it says, what's behind people's fear of illegal immigration? My fear from everything I hear is that it's kind of breaking the bank, and that we can't just keep affording to do all the roads, the jails, the hospitals, the schools, and all the things that we are doing for all these people. And then the other thing, it says that diversity is supposed to be, well, in fact, when I was at CSUB, that was a big thing. We were to embrace diversity. I'm for that, except I think it's a time for division, not unity, because we can't embrace people who want to break the law. And it seems like we have gotten to the place now where good is bad and bad is good, and there's confusion, and we're not standing for anything. And I don't think there's any blessing for people who break the law and come here, and there's no blessing for the people who are going along with it. And so I think, too, that the, let's see, there's a statement here. About businesses, and that, well, I just surmised that out of the whole thing was the only way to stop it is to have the business people be heavily fined and maybe even imprisoned in order to stop all this. And we just can't afford it, is the way I see it, too. But it's not like I dislike the people. It's not that at all. It's just that I feel like we have to do it honestly and above board. And as I said, I wonder about their country and why they didn't do something about it, because it seems like the right thing to do. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Let me remind everyone that we need for you to line up here quickly. We're about ready to exhaust our 30-minute period, so those of you that are left to speak, please come forward. And I would say at this point it would be good for you to limit your comments to 1 minute so that we can hear more.
Karen Stocker.
Thank you very much. Please proceed.